So we are live, and welcome to Pageant Verite. I am your host, Carly Rose, and my co-host, incredible Kyle Haggerty, will be with us in a moment. A little bit about Pageant Verite, in case you haven't watched our show yet, is Verite means truth. What we love to uncover is the truth that maybe you don't hear about very often in pageantry. Kyle loves to tell his side. He's very quiet and shy, aren't you, Kyle?
Oh, I just hover under a rock every chance I get. Heaven forbids that I speak the truth.
Yes, I know, and that's, something that really has me concerned is, you are so quiet and shy, and so I wonder, what do we do to change people's perception of that?
Well, maybe I'll just come out of my shell and really talk about what I really feel.
See, I was thinking, because, you kind of like to get real, correct?
I do.
So yeah. I was thinking, when we first started the show, we thought that you would be Kyle's corner and I would be Get Real with Carly. But I'm more of the unicorn and sunshine girl, and you're more of the let's get real people.
But I want everyone to come see me on my corner, though.
I want to have the corner, because I just do. I think that I should have the corner, and you should be Get Real.
Okay, well. All right, we'll try it your way. We'll see what happens.
What do you think? I think the audience can let us know. You can always email us at pageantverite@gmail.com and let us know what you think. But just for instance, let's go ahead. Kyle, go ahead and introduce yourself since we talked out. Since you've agreed with me, I'm fine with everything now. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, I would like to think that the world knows me, but for the very few people that don't, I'm Kyle Ian Haggerty. I am a international level pageant coach. I've been a pageant coach working in the industry for over 26 years with numerous national title holders to my credit. And, I love to brag. I love to boast. I'm not vain. I'm not shy. And I'm not afraid to say how I really feel. So, it's my opinion only. It's not Carly's opinion or anyone else, and believe me, I'm not short of expression, and I'm not short of opinion. So let's get real with Kyle.
Yes, and before I go into my corner and be all sunshine and sparkles, I gotta let you know that I'm a little irritated at you.
Why?
Well, I know you don't know this about me very much, but I don't allow very many men into my bed. I'm very picky about who gets into my bed. They have to have a certain knowledge level to be in my bed. And I have been, the audience doesn't realize, I've been sleeping with you the last couple nights. And shockingly, you've told me you are the best, you are number one. And I just happened to wake up from my sleep last night to this show going on one of the channels I won't mention, with somebody else saying they were the number one pageant coach in America, and I've been sleeping with you in my bed, falling asleep reading Kyle Haggerty, the number one pageant coach. What the heck?
Well,
let me send my condolences to you first of all. I'm wearing some black.
Okay.
Because I've been a little sad today and a little bit mad at you. So.
Well, I think a good portion of America has been sad about this new announcement that I guess someone threw me off the throne, in which I thought that I was sitting on.
Yes, her name is Kim of Queens, she goes by, and has a show out there. And yeah, she announces right off that she is number one in America. Now, if it was McDonald's and they said they had the number one hamburger, I'd want to see some stats on that.
What
are your stats, Kyle?
Well,
other than your handsomeness and things we won't mention on air.
Right, exactly. That's a different show. And for anyone who wants to know, email me privately. I'll tell you my stats. But anyway, I digress.
Because you have some big stats.
I do.
Very impressive stats. That is why I allowed you in my bed. You helped me win a national title this last year.
I did.
With your coaching abilities. And so I've enjoyed having you in my bed, and I don't want to kick you out.
Well, with this person, Kim, saying that she's the number one pageant coach, the only thing I can say, I can wrap it up into one word.
Okay.
And that word is resume. Okay? Resume. I tell girls all the time, when you have a coach that tells you that they're the very best, ask them their resume. For example, does that coach have a Miss America on their resume?
And who does?
Or Miss United States System national title holders On their resume. Do they have a Miss America's Outstanding Team? On their resume. Do they have 8 national dance champions? On their resume. Do they have a Miss World International? On their resume. You know, I could just continue to go on and on. Do they have Mr. Black America, Mr. USA, Mr. Renaissance, Mr. United States? On their resume. Now, with all of that being said, I do remember when she was Miss Georgia, and I'll be the first one to say she was a pretty damn good Miss Georgia. I will give her that. And actually, in my humble opinion, I think that she should have been in top 10 at Miss America. I thought her talent was solid. She was rocking the short haircut that she have now. She was doing that back in 1991.
Whoa.
You know, when everybody was doing that bob haircut. So she was definitely, you know, leaps and bounds above the rest as far as her look, her attitude. She was a very good singer. Her body was good. She had a really good fashion flair about her back then. Again, I thought she was a little bit ahead of her time. But for her to say that she was the #1 pageant coach, I would like to compare resumes with her and to let's compare and see who's really the #1 pageant coach. Now, if we want to talk about other good pageant coaches, you know, unlike some, I do not feel that I'm the only good pageant coach in the country. Do I consider myself to be one of the very best? Yeah, I do. I do. And as I always say, I have the resume to prove it. But Carly, what I want to do is that I want to give a couple of shout outs since we're talking about coaches.
I love shout outs.
Yeah, let me do a couple of shout outs to some coaches that I think are really good. Some of them I know personally, others I don't. But at the end of the day, you know, I just want to say that they're spectacular. So I got a few. So let me just kind of go through my list. My first one is Jennifer Pitts McKenna of McKenna Walsh Consulting in Orlando. They're fabulous. They have 2 Miss America Outstanding Team. Again, resume. They have Miss Florida's on their resume. You know, and they pretty much coach everything. Their specialty is in interview and platform presentation, but they're definitely on the mark. The next one is Kathy Hurd out of Arizona. Kathy and I have started to become friends. She was first runner-up to Miss America, Leanza Cornett. Great singer, good interview coach. She works with the Miss Iowa program a lot. She's really good. Now, outside of that whole Miss America, Miss USA thing, there's a coach out of Indiana. I do not know her, but my girls have actually gone to her. Her name is Ashley. She cranks out winners in the National American Miss system. And I mean, every single year, this woman is just cranking them out. Don't know her, but I know her work. You know, and it's pretty fantastic. And again, her resume is on point. Then you have Cyrus out of South Carolina. He had his show King of Crowns and has produced many winners in the USA. King of Crowns? King of the Crowns, I think is what it's called.
Very similar name.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, his resume speaks for himself too. You know, he was also on The Housewives of Atlanta, you know, so I was kind of amused to see him do his thing there. I thought it was quite entertaining. Then you have Gasper Cruz out of Texas. Actually, he was the designer of the reigning Miss America's evening gown. And really, to his credit, he also did the hair and makeup for one of my clients and did her state gown, Carissa Cameron, who obviously was Miss America. And then one last shout out for a coach. He's an up and rising coach in Baltimore. Her name is Victory Muhammad of Be Victorious Pageant and Image Consulting. And I always like to give a shout out to someone new because we all start somewhere. And the one thing that they all have in common is resume. Now, with that being said, if Kim would like to come on the show, I would love to invite her to come so we can compare resumes and for her to share with me why she feels that she's the #1 coach. Then, in fact, that would make me the #2 coach. And
I would love that.
I would love
a challenge.
And you know something? And I say this positively with no shade and no negativity because at the end of the day, I feel like that I can learn something from anyone, and I would love for her to come on this show and try and teach me something.
And I very much enjoyed her show. I very much did.
I don't
know that I would have trained a teenager without parental consent to do a pageant, but I did really like the show. I enjoyed her, and I'm really impressed with you, Kyle, that you're willing to share your royalty court with others and do the shout-outs.
Well, here's the thing.
So, cheers to you. Let me have another drink of my wine.
And your wine, my coffee.
With Starbucks on it.
Amen to the word.
Yeah. Seattle, Washington here. Where are you at, Kyle?
Well, actually, I'm back in D.C. I just got in from Pennsylvania. So I got another shout out to give. May I give it?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I want to give out a shout out to my girl, Ashley, who is doing her prelim for Miss Pennsylvania this weekend. So I'm driving down the highway in traffic. 2 accidents later. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, thank God. Okay.
Because I would not miss being with you tonight for the world.
Oh, okay, yeah. Kyle. Here's your book.
Okay.
You can stay in my bed.
Thank you.
Because you're still my number 1.
Right. I'm going to be on the road again. So, as we all know, World Championships, can you say WCOPA, the Olympics of the Performing Arts, in the next couple of weeks. I will be in Birmingham, Atlanta, Virginia Beach, Dayton, Greenville, South Carolina, and Raleigh. So, if you're a singer, dancer, actress, model, instrumentalist, and if you got what it takes to represent the United States in international competition, come hang out with me. Come have some Starbucks. I'll ask you to sing for me. I'll ask you to dance for me. And maybe we'll get you to Hollywood, California, where there is $130,000 in scholarship available.
$130,000?
That is correct. So
you produce winners and you're the star maker.
I am. So if you
I am so honored you're on that you're my co-host. I am so honored.
And anyone that wants to audition that comes from this show, email us at pageantverite@gmail.com, and we will make sure that you get special consideration.
Yes. And be sure and email your questions. The first question, now that we've decided, I have a question for Get Real with Kyle. Are you ready?
Okay. Go ahead.
Do you have your seatbelt on?
Okay, hold on.
Okay. Buckle up.
Okay, let's do it.
We have someone that wants to know the crown. She sees people wearing it sideways. She sees people wearing it with Halloween costumes. She sees people just pretty much disrespecting it. What is your take on that?
Well, it all depends on what vein it's being worn. I mean, if you are a reigning title holder, you know, if you're wearing your crown and sash, you have to be put together. I called it being snatched. You know, that's my little cliche word. You need to be snatched just for the high heavens, as I like to say. So if you are the reigning, I don't care if you are Miss County Fair Queen, you must look like $1,000,000 every single time. If you're going to wear a crown and sash as a costume or as a spoof, make sure it's not a legitimate title. You know, don't disrespect the young ladies that compete, or the men for that matter, that compete in pageantry competition. They work very hard and they spend lots of money in order to pursue these titles. And so when you make spoof of it, then you're disrespecting them and you're disrespecting someone doing something positive. And if you are a reigning title holder, you know, have your makeup done, have your hair done, be pressed. I don't care if you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I don't care that you're doing community service, but look like you won the title, where someone can look at you and go, oh, I see how she won.
I agree, and I love it when a man agrees with me.
Well, you know, what can I say?
Here's my take on it, and I was very new to pageantry just a few years ago and very excited that I had a crown. So at work one day, in between clients, I threw the crown on and sash and took some candid pictures with someone and got in big trouble with my director. Now, at first, I was very upset because I thought, well, it's my crown. I got it from you. I should be able to do what I want. And then I realized after we spoke that that is her brand. She had worked very hard to build that brand and to have it respected in the industry. And here I was throwing it on like it was just some kind of costume to take a few candids at work. Of course, my makeup wasn't done. My hair wasn't done. I was no way professional enough to be representing her brand. And it taught me a huge lesson. I've made sure since then that when I wear my crown and sash, I'm the brand. I am representing, and now, today's American woman. So I make sure that when I'm out there, the crown is on straight, my hair is done, my makeup is done. I represent my director and the brand, and I'm thankful for her teaching me that. At first, I was a brat, which I am about most things, but I really appreciate that.
Well, the one thing that a lot of pageants are doing, and I know that the Miss America pageant does this sometimes, is that they have a crown pin that they wear instead of a crown on their head. And normally the crown on top of your head is done more for official, more formal, you know, kind of events. And I know with previous titles that I've had, You know, I didn't wear my sash and my medallion all the time. Sometimes I just wore my pen, because at the end of the day, you are representing. So you should always represent your system with your attitude and with the way that you hold your composure and your poise and represent the system. But as far as your visual, just be very aware that it is a job, you know, and you're representing the company, and the company is the title in which you are wearing. So just be very wary of that. And I've seen girls lose their titles. You know,
she threatened to take my title, and I didn't realize it was such a big deal. She even sent me the Webster's Dictionary of an appearance is anytime that you come into the visual of another person, you are making an appearance.
Absolutely.
And wow, that has resonated with me over my pageant career now.
So ladies, again, you know, when you are going to an appearance, please take into account what the appearance is, what your role is, and always, without question, look the part. And it's not about what you wear, it's your grooming and how you wear it. Exactly. Remember that.
Exactly. So she wanted to remain anonymous, but now you know we don't agree with using it to spoof. We don't agree with using it for Halloween costumes. And represent. You need to represent. So the next question, Kyle,
sure,
is I've been at events where past pageant holders are wearing their sash and crown when they no longer hold that title. How do you feel about that?
Ladies, when you're a former, you are a former. Get over it. Let it go. For real, for real. It is the most disrespectful thing in the world is to have on your crown and sash and the reigning who went through the same process with you, you know, is wearing her crown and sash. You have, okay, let me put it this way.
Get real, babe.
Okay. The gentleman that crowned me Mr. USA eons ago said something to me very important, and I share this with all of my clients. When you win a title, there are only 2 days that this pageant is about you. The day that you're crowned and the day that you give up. All the 63 days, whatever, in the middle is about everybody else.
I agree.
Okay? And when you give that up and you are a former, it is no longer about you. And girls and guys, for that matter, that do that, that means that they haven't got past it. So, you know, if you are a former, enter another pageant, and we live in a day and age where you can be 80 years old and do a pageant. Okay, so get past yourself because you're disrespecting the title holder.
Now, second part of this question, because we love second parts when we're women asking a question.
Sure.
Where is this documented? Because someone had told them they couldn't do it, and they said, well, I haven't seen it written anywhere.
There's an interesting thing called respect and common courtesy. Okay, if you're going to be in the pageant, if you're going to be in the pageant arena, you want to one day hold a title. Part of the benefits of holding that title is that when you walk into the room, you are the beauty queen. Okay, which means that everyone stops talking, they turn to you, and they go, "Who's that?" All right, that's one of the perks of doing it. That the world gets to be about you at that one moment. Why do you want other 20 girls who had their moment 15 years ago? So no, it's not written, but anyone with any type of class or common courtesy would respect the girl that is reigning, you know, and let her have her moment because you've had yours already.
Wow, we're agreeing on everything.
I know, it's almost frightening.
This is true. Do you have any questions for Carly's Corner?
Actually, I do. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. Buckle
in. These are pretty good. I got 2 really good ones here. Okay. Carly, I don't want to compete in pageants anymore. I think they're fun, but my mother drives me crazy every time I compete. I am sick of vocal lessons, trying on new clothes, and I like to eat. Who doesn't like to eat? We all like to eat.
Right.
Okay, so I feel my mother will be very angry if I stop competing. I just don't know what to do. So, Carly, what should she do?
How old is she?
Oh, goodness, let me scroll. 16.
Oh, so mommy has full control still.
Mm.
Oh, will mommy allow her to do plus pageants, I wonder? Because that would be my recommendation, is to join a pageant where there is a curvy division.
Okay. Well, let's assume for a moment there's not.
As far as eating, that just covers the eating part.
Right.
Not that regular beauty queens don't eat, because there are some very healthy beauty queens that eat regularly.
Okay.
Correct, Kyle?
Sure, Carly. Whatever you say.
I think it's 16. If my mom tried making me do something at 16, I'm not doing what I don't want to do. I just would say, no, Mom, I don't want to do it, and join another sport.
Well, no.
No? Okay.
No.
What does Kyle say?
No. Suck it up. Okay.
See why you're the get real guy?
Okay. Suck it up. Okay. You say that you like doing it.
Right.
Okay, and you say it's a lot of fun or whatever the case may be, but your mother's driving you crazy. So my question is, why is she driving you crazy? Are you practicing? Are you eating ho-hos and donuts and going to McDonald's
That's what
every
she's
other
eating,
day?
yeah, the bad stuff.
Right. Are you not practicing whatever your vocal teacher is teaching you? Are you hanging out with your girlfriends at the pool at the pageant instead of getting a good night's sleep the night before a competition? Why is your mother driving you crazy? Okay, now, a lot of times you hear about mothers living it through their daughters.
Yeah, we see
okay?
that.
To be perfectly honest, I don't have a problem with that because every single parent wants their child to have more than what they have.
True.
Okay, and if this girl likes to do pageants and the mother is footing the bill, because let me tell you, Carly, I know some 16-year-old girls that their mothers make them take out a second job to pay me, and I don't come cheap. Okay, so with that being said, my opinion is suck it up, win the pageant, do what you need to do, or tell your mom to start doing pageants and call me. So,
Yeah, because we have divisions for Mom. Mom can join us.
Absolutely. My mother went to Mrs. You know something? If I tell my mother's age, she will disown me. I'm going to shut up.
Don't tell that. But your mom has competed.
My mother has competed in 1993. She was Mrs. Illinois, United States. And she was, well, I could say this without her disowning me. There were only 2 other contestants older than her. And my mom is still fierce and fabulous and got her figure and doing everything. I'm trying to talk her into doing another pageant, but she's not having it. So
yeah, in today's American Woman, the pageant that I'm a national queen with, we have a couple over 60s.
I don't know if my mother's willing to.
They're so inspiring. I plan on doing it until you're like driving me down the runway in my wheelchair with my sparkles on it. So.
Well, I had a client that went to Miss Senior America, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I think we should do a show on that.
We should, because it's really it's a sport, and it's a sport you can do until the day you die. So why the heck not?
I have another question for you.
Yes.
I happen to like this one. This one's kind of cute. Let me premise this question with something. I don't know if the other day I had the pleasure of being on Ask the Crown.
Oh, Stephanie McGrain. Go girl. Yep.
One day she's going to let me coach her in a pageant. Lord help me. Please, Lord.
She's
please,
amazing.
Lord. And the thing that made it so fantastic is that the reigning Mrs. America was on the show, and the reigning Mrs. Maryland was on the show, and then a local title from New Jersey. It was a fantastic show. For our viewing audience out there, if you have not seen this show, watch it.
Now, was it on Ask the Crown or Pageant Live?
It was on Ask the Crown. Or was it on Pageant Live?
That's where the best of the best are.
Right, exactly. If you haven't seen it, see it. If you have aspirations of one day competing in the Mrs. Pageants, it's great. And, forgive me, it was on Pageant Live. It wasn't on Ask the Crown. It was on Pageant Live. And it was just amazing. And so I bring that up because one of the topics that we talked about were husbands. So here's a question now, Carly. I know currently you're without a husband, and we are actively looking for one for you.
I'm not. You're looking for one? Well, then, Tom Selleck.
I am always
I'm still waiting.
Always looking for one. Okay, but again, that's a different show, Carly. Okay. Stay on topic. Okay. I'm a Mrs. Contestant and have been competing for many years. I have not won a state title yet. As I am hoping to meet Kyle and get him to coach me, yes, girl, I will coach you, okay? The problem I'm having is with my husband. He wants to pick out my dresses, pick out my shoes, pick out my jewelry, and even my undergarments. Now, we all know that undergarments are just as important as what you wear on top of them. Okay.
And you need industrial strength ones.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So then he also wants to advise me on how to put my makeup on. I'm starting to feel like that he wants to do pageants more than I do. How do I speak to him about this?
That you think he's wanting to do a pageant more than you do. I'm thinking, We better hook him up with Mr. Whatever America, right?
Well, if he's trying to tell her how to do her makeup, I don't know if Mr. America is the way he's going to want to go. As the, the female impersonator, transgendered pageant arena is a multi-million-dollar pageant arena.
Right.
I have clients in that industry too. I could introduce him to that.
You could.
Anyway, what should she say to her husband?
This is an easy peasy one, Kyle, and mainly because I guess I'm a woman and I know that if we want something, we get it. So she just needs to tell him to back the hell off and her take care of business.
Well, okay.
Wow, I didn't sound very unicorns and rainbows, did I?
Well, no. Wait, hold on.
She can promise him something else to take up his time, and he can pick out her lingerie. But leave the pageant gowns to Kyle.
Well, okay. You know how I'll address it? It all depends on who controls the checkbook.
Even then, we get what we want.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. Let's assume that I was married to a woman. Brace yourself, okay?
Did hell freeze? Well, it has in some parts of the country.
Well, if you would have talked to me about 15 years ago, that would have been...
Yeah, you were married.
Different show. Anyway, so if he I know that I would not buy something if I didn't agree with it. I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. So my advice to her... What
if you have no knowledge? What if he probably has no knowledge?
I understand that, but you're missing my point.
Okay.
The person that controls the checkbook controls the flow.
Okay.
So
I think the person that controls the sex life controls the flow.
Well, Carly, don't make me do it.
It's true, Kyle.
Okay. So what she should do, topic, Carly, stay on topic. What she should do is one of two things. If he controls the checkbook, then I say that she goes out and get a part-time job to pay for her own pageantry. True. Or get a credit card and then just have him pay the bill and just be done with it. If you are taking him because he has to buy it, that's the problem. Because 9 out of 10 husbands don't know the first thing that they're talking about, okay? And, if he's not trying to do a pageant with hair and makeup himself, and we could have that conversation at a different time, but he could be one of these type of husbands that look at everything as a sport. I do have clients that have husbands like that everything is a competition. And so they must feel that they must coach everything.
Well, he needs to look at that her team is not winning. So she obviously needs to switch it up.
Oh, well, sure.
So go Seahawks this weekend. Taking it. Anyway.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Let me tell you. I'm just bitter and distraught that the Bears did not make it to the playoffs. I'm just kind of over it. I just kind of got over it. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here for Miss Carly? I do have a question for you. Could you share with us, because I do have a client that I'm trying to tell her to stop trying to lose weight because she's not committed to doing so. So I'm trying to talk her into doing the word is curvy pageant.
I love the word curvy.
I know you love the word curvy.
And I think our best curve that joins all women is our smile. You can watch the Curvy Times on Facebook or on Blog Talk Radio for that.
What advice do I need to give her to prepare for a curvy pageant that's very different than, let's say, the standard Miss America, Miss USA kind of pageants?
Most of the regular pageants outside of those are 50% interview. What is the percentage on Miss America or Mrs. on interview?
Interview runs about 35%.
Yeah. So the highest percent is
one-third. Then you got talent and interview counting almost equally in the Miss America system.
Yeah. So 50% is interview. So that needs to be definitely your strongest because that's the first thing is you're gonna interview, and then of course foundational garments. Getting the proper, and you can go to carlyrose.info for those. I have industrial strength underwear, and then of course a gown. Getting clothes that fit you and look well.
Okay. Well, something, I may have to push her in your direction.
Yes. And today's American Woman Pageant, shout out to them. The reason I joined them is because they're all-inclusive for all women. When we do nationals in June, there will be petite women, tall women, curvy women, 60-plus-year-old women. There will be everyone. It's all-inclusive.
Okay, because I'm like about to handcuff her and like chain her to something.
I'll take her for you.
So, Carly, what do we have coming up in the next couple of shows? What are we going to be doing while I'm on the road?
We, on the next show, are going to be talking about pageantry and atheism. We have a queen coming on that has had trouble with pageant directors trying to take her crown away because of her beliefs. So we're going to be covering that.
Well, I was an altar boy. I was a good little Catholic altar boy when I was younger. So I'm looking very forward to us, let's just say, exchanging views.
Yes. So every other Thursday at pageantlive.com, you can find myself and Kyle, K2. I love that. And if you have questions, address them to either Carly's Corner or Get Real with Kyle at Pageant Verite. Verite is Verite at gmail.com. And my last shout outs would be watch me on the Curvy Times and find me on Facebook at the Curvy Times. Kyle, you can finish out the show and tell them where to find you.
As I always say, believe in yourself. Never give up on your dreams, regardless of who you are, where you're from. Greatness begins with you. You can find me at www.weproducewinners.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle. Mwah! Everybody, thank you for joining us.